And I'm going to try to go quickly because we have 5-minute rounds, and I'm going to try to stick to that with everybody. And hopefully the comedy of this effort will get information out for people. So first of all, it is impressive that you have so many conservatives supporting your nomination. And I do think that speaks to your work for so many years in the field and your commitments to those issues of free speech. One of the issues, though, I kind of started thinking with all these attacks against you, I thought, well, this is a proxy fight for net neutrality. I think you and I have talked about that a little bit. And while I think that the commission has every right to deal with net neutrality, I think, me personally, I think the Congress is the best place to deal with that issue ultimately, because I think whatever the FCC does ends up probably in a legal dispute. So, but that aside, I started thinking the vitriol of these attacks made me think that no, it's even more than this, that somehow you are a smart, talented individual that's going to go there and fight for affordable broadband anywhere.
Absolutely.
And somehow, if affordable broadband gets deployed anywhere, then somehow more affordable broadband might get deployed everywhere. So I think there's probably billions of dollars at stake here. And that is why the vitriol is coming at you. Now, I hope that we can see through that today and really talk about the issues. I do want to talk about a couple of things, though, that have been brought up by my colleagues. So I'll get back to the issue of affordable broadband. So a lot of people have made things of tweets. These are retweets. Is that correct? Most of the things that people have talked about are retweets. Is that correct?
Retweets and likes, yes.
Okay. So I'm not saying I mean, we all should be held accountable, but my guess is I don't know that any of these people up here could be probably on any job if we looked at all of their tweets and retweets and looked at what people said. So to me, that's not the issue. Second, this letter from the Fraternal Order of Police. Do you support Edward Snowden?
No, I actually think Edward Snowden is a Russian asset. I do not support Edward Snowden, and I think it's important to say that when somebody is on the board of an organization, it doesn't mean that they agree with every single thing they do. I'm on the board of the Electronic Frontier Foundation. I'm a proud board member, but they are involved in about 50 different issues. And there are some things I care deeply about and I agree with, some things I don't agree with at all, including their embrace of Edward Snowden, and some things, frankly, are not in my wheelhouse.
I agree with you. I think it gets complicated. I mean, Peter Thiel has given a ton of money to the EFF for awards for people that they think the EFF should be holding up. So listen, it goes a lot of different ways. But on this issue of information for law enforcement, you believe in making sure that there are warrants and that people can get access to this information. Is that correct?
Yes. If I'm confirmed, I will fully abide by CALEA, which the FCC does have a small role in. And yes, I do believe that law enforcement needs to abide by the First and Fourth Amendments. I don't think that's a radical position at all.
But people get confused on end-to-end encryption and think that there's no data available there, and there is data. And once it's decrypted, they could also get access to that data. Is that not correct? And you support law enforcement getting access both to the initial information and the decrypted information.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think there's a misalignment here about what your view is, at least from the perspective of that letter, and I hope that we can continue to have some information and correction on that. And to this point of this settlement, again, another board that you were on and another settlement, which you didn't have anything to do with the details of the settlement. And in consequence, you also, when you were before this committee, were prohibited in talking about the exact details. I think my colleague, Senator Wicker, tried to get you on this point, but you were prohibited by law from discussing that settlement amount as a board member. So I just want, if you could clarify this again for the members quickly.
Yes, I think there's a couple things that need to be clarified. First of all, I was bound by the settlement agreement. Okay, I was not a party to the litigation, so I never had any liability whatsoever. So this notion that, I got some sort of sweetheart deal, there was never a sweetheart deal as to me. Frankly, there wasn't even a sweetheart deal as to Locast. So there was a settlement decided on October 12th. That was 2 weeks before I was nominated, and I did not know at the time that I was going to be nominated, that Locast would pay $700,000 to the networks. Then There was 2 weeks later, okay, the document that I signed talked about $32 billion. Now, that was never, I'm sorry, Senator Cruz, you're wrong. The judge never said that there was a penalty of $32 million, and the judge never said that LOCAST had any liability whatsoever.
Well,
Okay.
we're going to get into this, and my time has expired, but I just, I want people to know, you came to the second hearing after that decision, so we could have the airing. So I feel like you showed a great deal of transparency on this issue, and I appreciate it, and I'll have to get back to my lowering cost of broadband for the second round. Senator Cruz.